Photo 1 was a photo I took while down in a subway. It is one of the only urban shots in this portfolio, and because of this I decided to call it Abbey Station. This may seem to not make sense until you look at the people. It personally reminds me of the Beatles on the album Abbey Road. I found this photo contrasted with the less claustrophobic and more natural photos of the rest of the album. I took this photo on a rail car while traveling to Niagara Falls. I thought it was a great photo to take due to how it gave a fantastic overhead of the scenery, making things small but still having high amounts of detail, being able to see almost every figure in the picture, and with the Niagara Falls being a great background flare, helping to tie the whole scene together. Because of the scale, I decided to call this photo Giant. I took photo 3 while protesting for climate change during September 2019. I thought it showed the true scale and power of a few people organizing an event could have, with the thousands of people that arrived and fought for the earth. So massive, in fact, the only way I could truly capture the scale was with a panoramic shot. I decided to call this photo In the Thick of It, capitalizing on how claustrophobic it was, being surrounded by all sides by people with the same purpose and cause. Needless to say, no turning back. Photos 4 and 5 were nature shots I took while walking in my class. I call photo 4 Sunlight. This is because of how heavily the photo relies on it. Without the light in either of these shots, they would become less than beautiful. And the light shining through these burrs almost gives off a feeling of safety, showing how even the lawless bounds of nature can have its beautiful moments. I also called photo 5 Toasted, because the largely brown color of the ground, and the gold light from the sun making it almost look like a perfectly cooked marshmallow. It's my personal favorite photo in this album, due to the perfect color grading and warm colors leading to a cozy feeling, almost like sitting in front of a fire with a cup of hot chocolate. Photos 6, 7, and 8 were all taken in Newfoundland during one of my trips in the summer of 2017. All these shots use roughly the same principles of photography, taking advantage of keeping lots of scenery in the frame to increase the scale. I specifically enjoyed photo 6, titled On the Rocks, relating to the small house near the shoreline, only being separated from it by a small amount of rubble and rock, keeping the house safe. I just adored the color grading on this one. I actually had to run into our tent and grab a camera just for this shot. The bright hues contrast with the darker and older house on the side, and unlike other photos in a similar vein, the building is not the focal point. That would actually be the sun, casting a beautiful glow onto the shore and the sky. The other photos were taken in a small town near the harbor, such as number 7, which is called Big Blue, due to the ocean being a focal point, separating the new boats and constantly used houses apart from the more gray and decrepit ones, making the ocean look like a barrier of time, keeping the modern separated from the old. And the final photo in this album, titled From the Fog, is a simple landscape shot with a few houses, slowly being covered by the fog, with some boats passing by to have some interesting buildings in the foreground. This is just a quick project I did while playing around in a program on my computer. I decided it was an important thing to show due to how it reveals that I can use a variety of tools and styles, even if I am unfamiliar with them. This was originally a personal project I started last year because I wanted to learn how to use a 3D modeling program called Blender. We can see my skills slowly evolve in these photos, as I learned building and sculpting, simple colored textures, and eventually procedurally generated objects, as seen with the random placement of the sprinkles. These 3 photos are titled Void Donut, seeing how this one is rather gray, in a void, and it focuses on a donut. The next one is called Pop, as the simple color of the donut helps it pop out from the average looking brown background. And finally, Topped with Pride. Not relating much to the photo, but instead relating to my joy and pride after getting this far. I'm still planning to work on this further, and if I do get accepted, I will update you as I go.